Hello friends, this is NPTEL Compiler Design Week 1 assignment. Coming to the first question, a compiler may produce which of the following? What is compiler? Compiler, we call it is a language processor which is taking input a source program and output a target program. Along with the target program, it also provides error messages and warnings if any in the compilation process. So here the options are given: target code, error messages, warnings, all of the above. Because all of the above is there, answer for question 1 is option D. Question number 2, converting a hardware description into actual circuitry is. This is a direct question, theoretical question. This is known as silicon compilation. So answer for the question is option A. Question number 3. Phase of the compiler scanning the input sequence is known as. Compiler scanning the input sequence. Compiler scanning the input sequence is known as lexical analysis. Why? Because lexical analysis scan the input from left to right and divide the program into collection of meaningful units. We call it is tokens. So answer for the question is option B. Question number 4. Symbol table is used by which phase of the compiler? Compiler is having 6 phases. We call lexical analysis phase, syntax analysis phase, semantic analysis phase, intermediate code generation, code optimization, and code generation. These are the 6 phases of compiler. And all the 6 phases is going to make use of a data structure called symbol table. What this symbol table stores information about the variables or identifiers along with its information. Means suppose I do have an identifier A, its information like its type, its initial value like garbage, or its scope, lifetime, some information regarding each identifier is stored into a data structure symbol table, and that information is used by all the phases of a compiler. So answer for this question is option D. Question number 5. Output of lexical analysis phase. The output of lexical analysis phase we call tokens. Output of syntax analysis phase we call parser or we call parse tree. Okay. Now question 5 says output of lexical analysis phase R we call tokens. That is an option C. And question number 6, output of syntax analysis. As just now we discussed, output of syntax analysis is parse tree. That is an option A. Question number 7. A programming language does not allow underscore character in the input. This is generally detected in the face of. Here, does not allow underscore character. This is we call a rule or we call pattern. The patterns or rules are there for the tokens. Now tokens are identified the compilation phase called lexical analysis phase. Lexical analysis phase. So answer for this question is option A. Question number 8. A programming language does not allow integer division operation. This is generally detected in the phase not allow integer division. Means A divided with, sorry, a programming language does not allow integer division. Say integer division not allowed. Say means suppose I am performing A divided with B. So it has to check what is the type of A, and also it has to check what is the type of B. If both are of type integer, it should not be allowed. So here it has to check what are the type of the operands for the operation being performed. This is called type checking. This type checking is an important component of semantic analysis. So answer for this question is semantic analysis. That is an option C. Question number 9. Most of the programming languages follow static scoping, dynamic scoping. We have two types of scoping called static and dynamic scoping. The older version of programming languages are using dynamic scoping. Now newer versions of all the programming languages using static scoping. So answer is option A. Question number 10. Intermediate code helps in. Intermediate code helps in. See here the compilation process divided into two parts. We call analysis part and synthesis part. This analysis part we call front end of the compiler. Synthesis part we call back end of the compiler. The output of analysis part we call intermediate code. Intermediate code. And this output is machine independent. And output of synthesis part is called a target program. Target program is machine dependent. Now the question is, intermediate code helps in. Now having machine independent code always helps in retargeting the program. So here we should understand what is meaning of retargeting. Suppose I do have a program. Now for my program, for the compilation, I have generated one front end. Okay, this front end I am calling intermediate code. An intermediate code is generated for this program. And I do have several missions, mission 1, mission 2, mission 3. Because we have several missions, each mission is having its own backend, backend 1, backend 2 and backend 3. And all the backends are mission dependent. Backend is always mission dependent. So means if I wanted to have a compiler for mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, we have to have a separate backend 1, backend 2, backend 3. But for all the missions, the front end is common. So that this front end, I can attach it with all the backends. So that it is generating a compiler for mission 1, mission 2 and mission 3. That is what we call retargeting the code. That is an advantage of separating analysis part with synthesis part. Question number 11. For maximum speed of execution of the target code, temporary variables be best allocated in CPU registers directly. Why? Because memory is having many locations. Searching in the many locations is a time consuming process. In CPU, we have only few set of registers like register 0, register 1, dash, 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 something like about 16-bit registers means 16 registers. And if you store the temporary variables value in the registers, performing the operation will take lesser time when compared with storing into main memory. So that answer for the question 11 is option C. Question number 12. Loops are the major targets for optimization. Since why loops are the major targets for optimization? See, I do have for loop. For I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Suppose if I less than 10, it means that it is repeating for 10 times. Suppose I do have I less than 100, means this loop is repeating for 100 times. If I is less than 1000, means it is repeating for 1000 times. It does mean that the most of the time the compiler is spending on this loop itself. That's why loops are major targets for optimization. Why? Because so program is repeating for several number of times, means the program block or this loop block is going to be repeated for several times, means most of the time it is performing execution inside the loop. Suppose if you do optimization inside a loop, like if the loop body is repeated for 2 times, say assume it is 1 time there, I have repeated for 2 times. If loop body is there for 1 time, so loop is executing for 1000 times. If loop body is repeated for 2 times, then it is executing for 500 times. So that performance going to be increased. This is called a technique called loop unrolling. And some code that is there inside the loop, suppose which is not required to be part of a loop, that code you can move to out of the loop. This is called loop optimization techniques called code motion. So means we do have some techniques for optimization on the loops. Why optimization is required for the loops? Because loop body is repeating for several times. Most of the time it is taking only inside the loop. That's why the loops are the major targets for optimization. So answer for question number 12 is option B. Question number 13. Symbol table is created by. Who creates a symbol table? Symbol table is created by both by lexical analysis and syntax analysis collectively. So answer for this question is option C. 14th question. A compiler helps in debugging. How to help in debugging? Debugging means correcting the errors. Suppose I wanted to find a particular error so that I can do easily by adding some code into the program. That is what we call additional code embedding. Embedding means adding some additional code so that debugging becomes easy. Means I can easily find what is a error and where error occurred. Such information I can able to find. So answer for this question is option A. Last question, question number 15. Error sorry. Question number 15. Error recovery helps to. Error recovery helps to. What for error recovery? Generally, error recovery will check for error. Means while compiling the program, it will, if it finds an error, then it collects information about the error in that particular line, stating that in which line error occurred and what type of error occurred. That information will be collected, and that information will be reported to the programmer for debugging the program. So means error, this is done by error recovery. The error recovery is to report multiple errors. This is option B. Okay, this is the first assignment, and thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and if required comment. Thank you, thanks for watching.